What's going on, y'all? It's JD Pickell. Today on the Hard Count, Arch Manning is down to 2 schools. Which ones are they? We'll discuss next. Welcome into CFB with JD, the People's Channel, for everything that you know that you love on YouTube about college football. Y'all drive the show. Armstrong Sims, Jack McKenzie. They do the heavy lifting to make it happen. And this is where, hopefully, everything that you're interested about regarding college football takes place. So one thing that I would imagine most of you are interested in is the recruitment of one Arch Manning. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he is the nephew of NFL quarterbacks Eli Manning and Peyton Manning. And he is the number 1 player in his own right in the class of 2023. A 5-star, he's a 98 overall according to 24/7. His composite has him like a 99. Dude's good. A can't-miss prospect. I think he's something like 6'3", 6'4", 215 pounds. He's going to be good. Whoever gets Arch Manning, I don't think this is overstating this, has a piece to potentially win a national championship. Because we've seen, if you can get the quarterback right, that's good enough to at least make the playoff, depending on what's around him. A lot of times, it's good enough to win the whole dang thing. So, needless to say, whoever gets Arch Manning is getting a program changer. Not just a season changer or a nice little addition. A program changer is Arch Manning. So, according to Dogs Daily and the Grove Report, the race for Arch Manning is shaping up to 2 different schools. First of which being Texas, second of which being Georgia. Now, how much we believe that, we're going to discuss later in the video. But let's just for a second assume that is the truth, okay? Let's assume it is Texas and it is Georgia. Those are the 2 vying for his abilities. How does he fit? Well, we'll start with Georgia. The pros are, obviously, you know you're going to win if you're Arch Manning and you're going to Georgia. Like, they don't need you to win. They proved it a couple days ago when they won with Stetson Bennett, the national championship that is. You would be a nice addition. You would make them, I think, the favorite in the majority of years to come if you are all that we're assuming you're going to be when you get to college. But in terms of pros for him, you know you're going to get some rings on your finger more than likely. Second, you're going to throw to some freaks. Not that you won it at Texas, not that you win it at places like Alabama or Clemson, but at Georgia, you for sure have Brock Bowers for at least a year when you get there. Assuming you play as a freshman, you're throwing number 19, the best tight end in college football, and he was only a true freshman. You're going to have some toys at Georgia. Also, you'll have guys around you on the offensive line. You'll have a good running game. Like, there is so much built out around you to be successful and to make you as comfortable as possible as a quarterback in that offense. Also, Todd Monken, a guy with an NFL pedigree, which we can assume his hope in picking a school is going to be the most developed, most complete player. So when it comes draft day for Arch Manning, he'll be that first selection taken. We can assume that's what is going to be the decision-making process, and Todd Monken checks that box. In that same vein, what way to check that box better than to play against NFL Junior in the SEC? You play against the best talent every single Saturday. Play against the best talent when it matters in late December, early January to even be playing on those dates. That's, I think, the big pitch for Georgia is, hey, if you come here and you're that guy, there's no debate. Scouts aren't going to have to wonder, well, he put up some pretty good numbers in the ACC, but, we'll see what he does against the big boys. No, you do it in the SEC, you can almost guarantee you can do it on Sundays. So the things that could be a stumbling block for him, you got to be kind of ticky-tacky. Maybe you make the case that he's an SEC country and, Peyton went to Tennessee, Eli went to Ole Miss, his dad Cooper went to Ole Miss. I don't think there's any smoke to that. But if we're going to just be really nitpicky about why not Georgia, I think the case for why not Georgia is more so the case for, hey, Alabama offers me this. Texas offers me this. LSU offers me this. There's things about other programs that would be more of an attraction to him rather than, hey, here's the negatives about Georgia and Georgia alone. So if you want to be ticky-tacky, maybe it's the fact that he'll get some heat from other fan bases, which are going to happen regardless of what school you pick. Let's look at Texas. Texas is very peculiar because they haven't really been very good as recently. You know, I mean, it's tough to say, but you compare him to the schools that he's considering in Georgia and Alabama, and Clemson was there for a while. Texas doesn't really match that same makeup in terms of how competitive they've been. Now, the pros for Texas is, I think, can be summed up in one name, Steve Sarkisian. And it's been well documented he likes Steve Sarkisian. He's gone on record and called him a football genius, which is high praise when your dad is one of the best quarterbacks. Your uncles are some of the best quarterbacks of all time. Dad was a pretty good receiver, too, at Ole Miss. But it stands to reason that matters to him. Like we mentioned, you're talking about development. Playing in Steve Sarkisian's offense would benefit him very, very much. The RPO scheme in itself is tailored to more of his skill set. Arch Manning can run if he needs to, but what he is just a great passer. A big frame, big body, rocket arm, a lot of velocity, very cerebral, could make quick reads. He's going to be successful anywhere. I just think Texas's offense accentuates some of those skills that he already has. So why not Texas? Maybe the Quinn Ewers thing scares him away. I don't think scares is really the right word to use there, but for the sake of this conversation, let's say it's important for him to play as a freshman. I don't know if it is. Let's just say Quinn Ewers is probably there for the next 2 years, meaning you're sitting for a year, maybe more, depending on how long Quinn Ewers stays. A lot of assumptions built into that piece. I'm not saying he couldn't go in there and take the job from him. We still don't even know if Quinn Ewers is for sure going to be the guy at Texas. But that could be something that's worth looking into. The NIL money is something that is tricky to look at because I think for Arch Manning, he's not so much into the branding. He's gone on record as well and say, if it wasn't for recruiting, I wouldn't even have Twitter. So I don't think the NIL stuff is really something that he's looking too closely at. Probably a bonus, probably a good thing. But if your pitch for Arch Manning is, hey, come here, make $1 million, I think he has enough counsel and I think he has enough good sense about him personally to see through that. So I would say proceed with caution with the NIL pitch if you're Texas. But again, Steve Sarkisian, that's the big domino that if that falls in favor of what he wants at UT, that could be it for him. That really could be what brings him to Texas, is his football savant nature. So do we really believe these are going to be the only 2 schools in the hunt for Arch Manning? I don't think so. I'd have a really hard time buying into that. He's visited Alabama unofficially twice. For those of you that don't know what that means, an unofficial visit means you are paying your own dime to get to that school to make a visit. You're not getting free meals. You're not getting flown out there. That's an official visit. Unofficial visit, you have to find your own way there, meaning you have to put in more effort and have more of a desire to visit that school. And he's done that twice at Alabama. Also, Bill O'Brien, the offensive coordinator for Alabama, again, another guy with NFL pedigree, talking about development, a guy who is going to, I believe he already has, made a visit to Arch Manning. So I think Alabama's very much still in this. I don't think you're ever out of it when Nick Saban's calling the plays, or calling the shots, I should say. He's not calling the plays, but you understand what I'm saying. Also, Oklahoma offered him a couple days ago. One, Oklahoma, get on the ball. Why have you not offered him sooner? No pun intended, but that was pretty funny. There's just a lot of things that are going to happen before he commits. I don't know how soon that will be. I don't believe there's a timetable laid out. Fact is, if he wants to commit on signing day in December, he can. If he wants to commit before his senior season, he can. So hopefully we get more clarity before the beginning of his senior football season as to what schools he's going to be looking at. But right now, Georgia and Texas make a lot of sense, a lot of benefits, a lot of fits, I think, within those programs for him. But to say it's a 2-horse race right now, I think you're kidding yourself. For the record, for my money, I think Georgia's got the best shot at him for the reasons I already mentioned. I think he'd be dominant at Georgia. I really do. But nonetheless, the race will play itself out. May the odds be ever in your favor. That's it for us here at The Hard Count. Appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. We do a video nearly every single day. We'd love to have you along for the ride. But regardless, we will keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time.